adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that Jet A. Jerry O'Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Well, in our last episode, Captain Peachfuzz was about to explain to our heroes just why they were in McKeesport, PA, when suddenly...
It's time for ding-dong school.
That's no reason for being in McKeesport, PA.
Bullwinkle, you don't understand. Captain Peachfuzz has suddenly turned stupid.
That wasn't a turn, more of a slight veer.
Nevertheless, the captain plunked himself down in front of a TV set and couldn't be budged.
But we still don't know why we're here.
Why are any of us here, Rock?
Well, I think there's plenty dirty work afoot around here.
Yeah, must be the coal dust.
Yeah. Come look at these footprints.
Sure enough, a mysterious set of footprints led away from the point where the good captain had succumbed to a case of the galloping dumb.
Let's follow them, Bullwinkle.
Why?
Because the good guys always follow footprints to find the bad guy.
If I was a bad guy, I'd walk on my hands.
Oh, come on.
And the plucky squirrel whipped out a large magnifying glass and began to trace the mysterious prints. Little did he know that they had been made by his old nemesis, Boris Badenov, who at that moment lay in wait with a strange-looking object beside him.
I resent that, darling.
Not you, Natasha. He means the gas gun.
So that's what that object was, a gas gun.
See, Boris, you told him.
Who cares? We got it made now.
What's this all about?
I thought you'd never ask. Come with me. Now we go through the magic of the 4-second cross dissolve to the little country of Pennsylvania.
Little but mean.
Gentlemen, we must find a way to make the name of Pennsylvania feared and hated throughout the world.
Yeah.
You said it fearless, leader.
But why?
Why? Look at it this way. Does Pennsylvania have any raw materials?
No.
Do we make things?
No.
Do we have any art or culture?
No.
What is the only thing we got plenty of?
Nothing.
No. Mean. We have more mean per square inch than other countries have in a square mile.
And so?
So we got to export mean to every other country.
But to do that?
Yes, Pennsylvania will declare war on everybody.
But anybody could beat us.
Yes, besides being mean, we're all cowards. Tut, tut, gentlemen. Here is the genius of my plan.
Hooray!
Not yet, Gerhardt. I'll tell you when. We'll declare war on everybody, but we won't tell anybody. Now, Gerhardt.
Hooray!
Now, everybody.
Hooray!
And so Pennsylvania set to work to develop a secret weapon to end all secret weapons.
How about this death ray machine, Phyllis Leader?
Let's see. You idiot. It doesn't even faze them.
Thank goodness.
What?
I mean, thank badness. Eventually, though, the ultimate weapon was discovered.
Yes, gentlemen, I call it goof gas.
Goof gas?
Yes, one whiff, you're completely stupid.
Let's test it. Gerhardt, take a sniff.
Smells good.
Now, Gerhardt, do you think I'm the handsomest, kindest man in Pennsylvania?
Of course not. You're a mean, ugly schnook.
Put that man under arrest!
And poor Gerhardt was hauled off to solitary confinement.
My boy, your goof gas is a success. Gerhardt turned into a complete idiot.
But his answer was right, fearless leader. You are a mean, ugly schnook.
Of course, but nobody but an idiot would tell me so.
True.
Well, then, what country do we turn into nitwits first?
Let's pick an easy one. The US of A.
Hold it. We can't go on with this.
Why not, Badenov? It's too cruel and mean?
No.
It's inhuman?
No.
It's expensive?
Not even that.
Then what?
It's the end of the episode.
And so it is, but we'll reveal the rest of the fiendish plan next time in Harebrained Boris or the Dumb Bunny.
6 baritone solos in the key of E.
But
If not... Ooh.
now for another of our special features.
Should have tried E flat.
Junior, what are you doing?
I just chopped down this old tree, Dad.
Yeah, I noticed that, but why?
'Cause my girl and I have broken up.
That is no reason to chop down a tree.
Well, you see, I carved our initials on this tree last Valentine's Day, and I don't want to have to look at 'em anymore.
How do you know she won't come back? Remember the old saying, he who loses faith loses all?
How did you know my girl's name was Faith?
I didn't, but I do know a fable that would help you to face the facts a little more clearly. It's called The French Poodle and the Alley Cat. Years ago, not very far from here, there stood a tiny village named Barrel City. The reason it was called Barrel City was because clothes not having been invented yet, its citizens wore barrel.
My, that's a stunning barrel. Cracker or lard? Pickle. My, it is a dilly.
Wearing barrels had its disadvantages, however. Not only was it difficult sitting down, but everyone's barrel looked alike. That is, until a French poodle, out to seek his fortune, opened a paint shop.
I will paint my way to the pinnacle of success.
Well, sir, that started a fad. By the end of the week, everyone in Barrel City was sporting a different colored barrel, painted by the French poodle, who in turn became the fashion leader of the community.
Here, mesdames and messieurs, we have my latest creation. A polka dot barrel with matching holes and a cerise ribbon draped around the slats. Breathtaking, n'est-ce pas?
Both the poodle and his shop continued to prosper until one fine day, a seedy-looking alley cat wandered into Barrel City and had the misfortune to pass beneath a window ledge upon which rested a flower pot containing one petunia.
Look at that stunning hat.
Word spread like wildfire throughout the city that a new style of headgear had been created. The cat, quick to seize the opportunity, bought all the flower pots in town and rented a dilapidated rundown shack that happened to be right next door to the poodle's barrel shop.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Goose.
Bonjour to you.
I suppose you're in the market for a new barrel.
Quite the contrary. The new rage is flower pot hats.
If this keeps up, I will be the rup-banked.
That night, under the cover of darkness, the poodle, carrying a can of gunpowder, stole into the alley cat's hat shack. Striking a match, he lit the fuse.
That should take care of him.
But with the dawn came the sad realization that a slight faux pas had been committed, for instead of blowing up the cat shop, he had blown up his own.
Are you having a fire sale this week?
You little stinker, you are the cause of all this. But let the bygones be the bygones. Therefore, I would like to cement our friendship.
That's okay by me.
Bon. Now, in case you did not know, you have become quite famous, and people who are famous put their footprints in cement. Step into this bucket.
The cat did, and the cement hardened fast.
Tell me this. Can you swim?
Oh, sure.
With a bucket full of cement on your feet?
Oh, no.
That is all I want to know.
Wasting no further time, he dragged the helpless cat to the riverbank and pushed him in.
Au revoir!
So I got a little bad news for you, Poodle. That river's been dry for years.
Calamity followed calamity, for the townsfolk had seen the cat clomping along in his bucket full of cement, and this too caused a sensation. 2 days later, everyone was wearing this new type of shoe.
That does it. I might just as well kill myself.
But he didn't have to, for the townsfolk suddenly decided to hold a fashion contest, and the one who came up with the most ingenious design would get a contract that would set him up for life.
Good luck, Poodle.
This is my last chance.
The poodle worked feverishly and by morning had devised a new type of summer dress, which was in reality a flat tire with a moldy shower curtain hanging from it. But the alley cat was equal to the occasion, for he had created a hat consisting of a saddle studded with horse chestnuts. The poodle took one look gasped.
Gasp!
And knew he'd run a poor second. But there was still time to act. For if he could ruin the hat before the judge saw it, he might still be victorious. There on a long banquet table sat a large vat of beef stew, but didn't sit there long. Well, sir, you'd never believe what happened. That cat still believed that his creation, even covered with beef stew, was still a winner. And he was right.
Some fable, Pop.
Well, I think it does prove that he who loses faith loses everything.
It also proves something else.
What?
If the stew fits, wear it.
Greetings, you culture bugs. Today's poem is called The Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, continuous as the stars that... Hi.
Can't you read the sign, buddy?
Well, certainly. What sign?
The one behind those daffodils.
This one that says, do not pick flowers?
That's the one.
Well, there I was, Your Honor, wandering lonely as a cloud that floats...
30 daffodils, eh? That will be $30 and 30 days.
Now oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon my bright blue eye, as I sit here in solitude. And then my heart with anger fills. $1 apiece for daffodils?
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But...
See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
And now it's time to meet Mr. Peabody.
Hello out there, Peabody again. For today's journey into history, we are going back to...
Hi, Mr. Peabody.
Hello, Florence.
Florence? My name isn't Florence, Mr. Peabody. It's Sherman.
I was in the process of explaining that we are going back in time to visit Florence Nightingale.
You mean history's most famous nurse?
Precisely. Please set the Wayback Controls for the Crimean Peninsula in the southern section of Russia, site of the Crimean War.
Got it. And the year?
1854. The Wayback, dependable as always, wasted no time in taking us to our destination, a field hospital just 2 miles from the enemy lines.
Come on, Mr. Peabody. I'll bet Miss Nightingale is inside.
She was, but we expected to find her beside a bed, not in one.
Miss Nightingale, are you sick?
Extremely. And ill is the word, young man.
Where, may I ask, does it hurt?
Where doesn't it hurt? You see, they call me the lady with a lamp because I go about administering aid by lamplight.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, but what you don't know is that the Russians took all our oil in a sneak attack. Therefore, my lamps are useless. I've been forced to go around in the dark.
Golly, that could be dangerous.
I noticed that. So far this week, I've fallen into 22 trenches.
But don't you worry, Miss Nightingale. We'll get the oil back for your lamps. Won't we, Mr. Peabody?
Of course. Sherman and I started off immediately and under cover of darkness managed to successfully slip into the Russian camp. Finding the oil drums was no problem, for they were stacked everywhere.
So far, so good.
Less than an hour later, Sherman and I were sitting atop a horse-drawn wagon filled to capacity with oil drums and heading back for the Allied lines.
Just one moment. Where do you think you are going?
Uh-oh, a soldier. I'll throw him off the track. The general asked us to bring these oil drums to him.
Good, then put them here in my tent.
In your tent? Why?
Why else? I'm the general.
Sherman's boo-boo left us nothing to do but follow the general's orders.
Seems silly that I would order oil drums brought to my tent, but I am general, so must be good reason.
Quite right. Now, if you'll excuse us, but as we turn to leave...
General, somebody has stolen a bunch of oil drums.
Needless to say, that tore it. We were quickly apprehended as spies and placed in a prison tent under heavy guard.
What are we going to do, Mr. Peabody?
It has become quite obvious the only way we can get the oil from Miss Nightingale is to have the general himself send it back.
The general? How are we going to do that?
That will be simple. The problem right now is getting ourselves some disguises. I solved that problem by taking the hair from a mattress on the cot and fashioning beards for Sherman and myself. Eluding our guards by slipping under the back of the tent, we went directly to the front of the general's quarters. Get me a bucket of oil from that drum, Sherman.
Yeah, here you are, Mr. Peabody. Now what?
First, I pour it on the ground, like so. General, could you come out for a moment?
Coming. What's all there? What's going on? What happened?
It appears as though you slipped on some oil.
Who are you?
I am Mr. Peabody, and this is Sherman Skovich.
Nice to know you, but isn't the kid a little young to have a beard?
Not really. You see, he's a little shaver who never shaves.
Are you kidding? I will go get something to eat. Maybe it will calm my nerves.
That is our cue, Sherman. Your eggs, General?
Say, that looks good. Those eggs taste like 30-weight crankcase oil.
Perhaps it's because they were cooked in 30-weight crankcase oil.
Oil. Every time I turn around, something is oily.
Calm yourself, General. What you need is a nap.
Good idea. If this keeps up, I'm going to have a nervous proposition.
It's working, Sherman. Waiting until the General had retired and was fast asleep, Sherman and I crept up to a huge pile of oil drums which were directly behind his tent. I instructed Sherman to remove the peg supporting the key drum, and gravity did the rest.
Don't tell me what happened. I know it's oil. Oil to the left of me. Oil on top, oil everywhere.
With all the trouble this oil is causing you, you very well might lose the war.
That's right. You got advice?
Always. Why not send all of the oil to the Allies and let them have the trouble?
What fiendishly clever idea.
With a signed order from the General, we, of course, had no further trouble getting the oil back across the lines.
You did it again, Mr. Peabody.
Miss Nightingale's problems were solved. But such was not the case for the soldiers. Though they now had plenty of oil, there was an acute shortage of water. They had to bathe in oil at night before going to bed, and again in the morning instead of taking a shower. One good thing did come of this, however, a famous saying that we use to this day.
Mr. Peabody, you don't mean...
Yes, I do, Sherman. It's oily to bed, oily to rise.
Last time we found out why there has been such an epidemic of stupidity in the United States. It seems that Pennsylvania, that mean winter country, has attacked us with a secret weapon called goof gas.
Right. One poof, you're a goof.
Yes, for the past several episodes, Boris Badenov has been shooting goof gas at America's leading smart Alex and whiz kids.
And so, gentlemen, I have devised a totally new compulsive force to launch our missiles.
Yes. What is it?
It's a rubber band.
Ladies and gentlemen, for my first baritone solo this evening, I would like to sing one of my favorite arias from La Sierra d'Amore. Flee, fly, flee. Wanna hold you tight, wanna hold you. I wanna die, I wanna die, I wanna die.
Boris, that's terrible.
It's the horrors of war, Natasha.
But now, at this very moment, our heroes are hot on Boris's trail.
This way, Bullwinkle.
Isn't it though?
Little realizing that Boris is really lying in wait for them. So as our heroes rounded the corner...
Take that, moose and squirrel.
Hey, that smells good. Say, Rock, that feller squirted us with perfume.
Perfume nothing. I know what that stuff is.
The answer to the plot.
And what's more, I know who's doing it.
Pray tell all.
I know where I've heard that voice before.
Wowie! I'll take notes.
The villain of this whole show is named...
Yes.
Gee, I forget.
You forget?
Forget what?
You said you forgot something.
Golly, now I even forgot what I forgot.
Well, won't need the old notebook anymore.
And who are you, stranger?
Stranger? Oh, my stars and garters.
Boris, one more second and Squirrel would have said your name.
Yes, it seems a shame, Natasha.
What?
I could use the publicity.
Why didn't goof gas affect Moose?
Because goof gas affects the brain.
And?
No brain, no effect.
It was true. Bullwinkle's built-in stupidity made him the only living creature immune to goof gas.
A lot of good that does me. I don't have anybody to feed me a straight line anymore.
Tell me about the rabbits, George.
You see what I mean?
Well, Natasha, we stopped those two busybodies cold. Now on to the hardest part of Finnish plan.
And that is?
We're going to take Washington.
Darling, that's not hard.
No.
Look at headline.
Boston takes Washington 7-2.
Anybody can take Washington.
Wait till next year. Come on, Natasha.
And the two villains headed off for our nation's capital. A few days later, they were in the Congressional Visitors Gallery listening to the speeches.
Mr. Chairman, I'm against all foreign aid, especially to places like Hawaii and Alaska.
I demand we increase taxes for everybody under 67.
How old are you?
68.
We've got to get the government out of government.
Well, let's go, Natasha.
Go! You're not going to squirt them with goof gas?
It's too late. Somebody beat us to it.
Then where next?
It's going to be big surprise.
Surprise indeed, for the two no-goodniks were headed straight for...
I said it was going to be surprise.
They were headed straight for...
Now, where are we going?
Gee whiz, now I don't know. Anyway, be with us next time be with us next time anyway. Gee.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say...
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
My fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?